Hello to all orchid lovers around the world. Nice to see you again at Flower Care, a space for us to exchange experiences, share secrets, to help orchid pots always grow healthily and bloom brilliantly. Most people who are attached to orchids have at least once experienced the feeling of anxiety when seeing their beloved orchid in the garden growing normally, suddenly showing signs of yellow leaves and wilting. In most cases, orchids are like this, usually due to improper watering, causing the plant to lose balance and quickly become exhausted. In addition, after a long time of use, the growing medium can rot, become tight, and the roots cannot breathe, thereby creating conditions for fungi to develop. First, we need to gently remove the plant from the pot to check the condition of the substrate and roots. As you can see, most of the roots of the plant have dried up, are hollow, and are no longer able to absorb water and nutrients. At the same time, the growing medium in the pot has also dried out, losing the necessary moisture to maintain the growth of the orchid. Next step, we need to remove all the old substrate, because at this time it can no longer maintain the ventilation and nutrition necessary for plant growth. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to support me, and don't miss any useful orchid care tips. I'm happy to accompany you on the journey of nurturing and conquering the beauty of orchid pots. After removing all the old substrate, I will use sharp, sterilized scissors to carefully cut off any damaged, dry, or lifeless roots, allowing the plant to focus on nourishing the healthy roots. What country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments below. It's great to be able to connect and share our passion for orchids from all over the world. Next, we need to observe the entire stem and leaves of the plant. If we find any leaves that have turned yellow or lost their vitality, we should cut them off immediately to avoid spreading the disease and help the plant focus nutrients on the healthy parts. After removing damaged plant parts, we will clean the plant with clean water. The water will wash away dirt and remaining substrate on the roots and leaves, while also removing any remaining fungi, bacteria, and harmful insects. Not only that, this step also helps cool the plant, creating natural moisture for the surface of the leaves and roots. After washing, we use a soft, clean towel to dry the remaining water droplets on the leaves and stems of the orchid, avoiding prolonged wetness. If water is left on the leaves, stems, or roots for a long time, the plant will be susceptible to fungal and bacterial infections, especially in high humidity conditions. Here I use 1 liter of clean water to prepare fertilizer to help the orchid recover quickly. I pour water into a clean bottle. The ingredient I use to make fertilizer for orchids is honey, a natural ingredient that has many benefits for orchids during the recovery and growth process. I use a spoonful of honey diluted with a liter of clean water. This is the right ratio to supplement nutrients for the plant while still being safe, not causing shock or harm to the orchid. After stirring the solution, we should let it sit for about 15 minutes to let the ingredients dissolve completely before using it for orchids. After 15 minutes, the honey has completely dissolved in water, forming a natural nutrient solution, very beneficial for the orchid's recovery process. Prepare a plastic cup with a height equivalent to the orchid's leaves. Then, pour the honey solution into the cup with enough amount. Then gently place the entire orchid leaves in and soak for about 30 minutes. This method helps the leaf tissues absorb nutrients directly, while also mildly disinfecting, supporting the recovery and regeneration process. The next ingredient I use to make fertilizer for orchids is GE banana, naturally fermented banana. This is a batch I brewed about 3 months ago. Now it is ripe, and I will use it for the plants. I will take about 30 milliliters of GE banana water to make fertilizer for orchids. Pour the pre-measured banana GE water into the honey solution. After mixing the two ingredients, stir the mixture well and let it sit for about 15 minutes before using to help the nutrients blend and stabilize better. After 30 minutes of soaking, the orchid leaves have fully absorbed the nutrients from the honey solution. Now we gently lift the plant out. Don't forget to wipe off any remaining drops of solution on the leaves and stems to keep the plant dry and avoid prolonged wet conditions, which create conditions for fungi and bacteria to grow, causing leaf or top rot. If you encounter any difficulties in the process of caring for and growing orchids, please leave a comment below. I am always ready to share my experience and support you to nurture healthy orchid pots, giving beautiful and bright flowers all year round. After 15 minutes of resting, the nutrients from GE banana and honey have completely blended, forming a homogeneous mixture, very useful for the recovery and regeneration process of orchid plants. I use a soft cotton pad, soak it in the nutrient solution, and gently wipe it on both sides of the orchid leaves, helping the leaves absorb the necessary nutrients directly and quickly. Leaves are the photosynthetic organs and also the place where plants can absorb nutrients through the stomata, so when in direct contact with honey solution and banana GE, the plant will quickly receive natural energy and minerals. The act of wiping leaves also helps remove dirt and microorganisms on the surface, helping the leaves to be airy, increasing the efficiency of photosynthesis. In addition, the nutrients absorbed evenly into the leaves also create a thin protective layer, helping to increase resistance, limiting the invasion of fungi. This is a step of both nurturing and cleaning, contributing significantly to the recovery and sustainable development of orchids. Next, I prepare a clean cup. Pour a portion of the mixed nutrient solution into it. Then gently place the entire orchid root into the cup and soak for about 30 minutes. This method helps the roots absorb nutrients directly, supporting the recovery process and stimulating new roots. After 30 minutes of soaking, I will gently lift the orchid out of the nutrient solution. At this time, the cell tips in the roots have been activated, helping the plant to be ready to be planted in a new substrate to quickly recover and grow again. Before planting the tree in the new medium, I will use cinnamon powder to apply on the cuts on the trunk and roots. Cinnamon powder has natural antibacterial and antifungal properties, helps the wound heal quickly, and reduces the risk of rot. After disinfecting the plant, I will let it rest for about a day to help the cuts dry naturally, thereby reducing the risk of fungal infection before planting it in a new substrate. I will use the remaining nutrients to take care of other orchid pots in the garden, both to avoid waste and to help the whole orchid garden receive nutrients. I use a soft cotton pad, soak it in nutrients, and gently wipe it evenly on both sides of the leaves, helping the orchid to directly and quickly absorb the necessary nutrients. Leaves not only photosynthesize, but also have the ability to absorb nutrients directly through the stomata, so even contact with nutrients will help the plant receive energy and minerals quickly. Wiping on both sides of the leaves also helps increase absorption efficiency, because the underside of the leaves often concentrates more stomata than the top. At the same time, this action also removes dirt, fungi, or insects on the leaves, helping the leaf surface to be airy, improving the ability to photosynthesize. Thanks to that, the orchid is both supplemented with nutrients and cleaned to restore health and develop more sustainably. Another way is that we can water this nutrient solution directly into the roots and substrate of the orchid, helping the roots absorb nutrients slowly, and the orchid is nourished naturally and sustainably. When the nutrients penetrate the substrate, the roots will absorb them slowly, stably, and more regularly than other methods. This not only helps the plant have a sustainable source of nutrients, but also creates a cool, moist environment, stimulating new roots to grow healthily. Then we lift the plant out and place it back in its ideal environment in the garden to allow it to continue growing. After a day, the cuts on the orchid have begun to dry and shrink. At this time, we proceed to plant the plant in a new substrate, helping the plant have a well-ventilated environment to recover and quickly grow again. Here I used a pot that already had drainage holes and ventilation slots designed in it. As for the growing medium, I chose pine bark that had been carefully treated and sterilized, both to ensure cleanliness and to create a long-lasting, airy environment for the orchid roots to grow. After spreading a layer of pine bark on the bottom of the pot as a lining, we placed the orchid neatly in the middle of the pot. Then insert pine bark evenly into the root gaps. This method helps the root system have a solid support and a well-ventilated environment for stable and long-term development. What orchid species are you currently growing? Please share in the comments below so I can create in-depth care tutorial videos that are tailored to the characteristics and needs of each orchid species you are growing. Next, cover the surface of the substrate with a thin layer of moss. This layer of moss helps to naturally moisturize the orchid pot, preventing the young roots from drying out and creating a cool, stable environment. In addition, the moss layer also helps to limit the rapid evaporation of water, keeping the humidity even around the roots, thereby supporting the orchid to recover and grow better. After planting, I will use clean water to water the roots and substrate to moisturize the orchid. This will both soothe the plant after the treatment and help the substrate hug the roots tightly, creating a favorable environment for the orchid to quickly adapt and begin to recover. Next, we will place the tree in the garden in a well-ventilated place with soft light so that the tree can gradually recover. After 4 weeks of persistent care, the orchid leaves gradually recovered, becoming green, shiny, no longer wrinkled or yellow as before. In particular, the plant has sprouted a new, strong shoot to replace the old tip that was lost before. This is a clear sign that the orchid is recovering well, regaining vitality and ready to enter a new stage of development. Regarding the root system, we can see that many young roots have sprouted, white, round, and plump. This is an extremely positive signal, proving that the orchid has truly recovered, absorbed nutrients well, and begun to rebuild a healthy root system to nourish the entire plant. I continue to prepare a nutrient mixture from honey and banana GE to supplement nutrients and help the plant recover faster. This combination provides instant energy and supplements trace elements and natural enzymes, helping the orchid increase resistance, stimulate strong root growth, and promote healthy growth of young shoots. I will water this nutrient directly into the roots and the orchid substrate. This method helps the orchid absorb nutrients quickly and effectively. The roots are provided with a natural source of energy to restore cells, while the substrate is supplemented with beneficial microorganisms to help balance the plant's living environment. You should apply this formula to care for orchids every 2 weeks to help the plant recover and grow best. On normal days, when the substrate is dry, we only need to spray a light mist about once every 2 days, just enough to keep the humidity stable without causing root rot. This is the ideal balance between nutrition and humidity, helping the orchid to stay healthy and durable. During this stage, we place the plant in a dry, airy place with diffused light. This environment helps the roots recover quickly, the leaves photosynthesize well, and the young shoots grow healthily. Over the next 5 weeks, our orchid underwent a remarkable transformation from its initial weakened state to a healthy, vibrant one. The orchid buds have grown strong, straight, and full of vitality, covered with a fresh green color. The young leaves are thicker, signaling that the plant is recovering very well and is ready to enter a strong growth phase. The once wrinkled, yellowed leaves are now gradually turning green again. The leaf surface is more shiny and smooth. This is a sign that the tree has absorbed nutrients well, the photosynthesis process has improved, and its vitality is recovering strongly day by day. In the leaf axils, a new shoot has emerged, bright emerald green, opening up hope for a new, healthy, and promising stage of growth. On the surface of the substrate, a series of young root tips sprouted up simultaneously, white and plump like new life vessels. They penetrated the gaps in the pine bark, firmly attached and spread out around, forming a strong, sturdy root system. This was an extremely positive sign, proving that the orchid was not only recovering but also in a stage of vigorous development, ready to nurture young leaves, new buds, and prepare for the flowering process in the future. Hopefully, with perseverance and proper care, you will have more healthy and blooming orchids in your small garden. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that I have more motivation to share more good techniques on growing and caring for orchids. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I wish you all good luck, good health, happiness, and success in your journey of caring for your orchids and your beloved garden. See you in the next videos.